Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Welcome back to our channel. After a comprehensive overview about the 52 types of angels created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are now moving towards the angel Mufattiq Al Qulub, the revealer of hidden emotions. In the world of unseen beings that govern human experience, Mufattiq Al Qulub occupies one of the most delicate and profound stations. His name means he who opens the hearts, or he who unlocks the sealed emotions. This angel is responsible for exposing what lies beneath the crafted exterior of a person, the intentions, feelings, wounds, attachments, and secret states that a human being often tries to hide even from themselves. While other angels test through bodily hardship, wealth, loss, family, or patience, the task of Mufattiq Al Qulub is uniquely internal. He turns the key of the heart, letting buried emotions rise to the surface so the soul can no longer ignore its concealed realities. These are the beings of unfathomable might, created from the most luminous light of Nur Muhammadi, meaning the divine light of Prophet Muhammad. This angel's presence manifests during moments when a person suddenly becomes aware of emotions they suppressed for years: guilt, love, envy, longing, sincerity, fear, humility, or pride. In Tasawwufi psychology, these emotional unveilings are considered miniature resurrections, where the heart is forced to face its truth. Mufattiq Al Qulub triggers these unveilings not to punish, but to purify. He reveals the emotional layers that interrupt sincerity with Allah, honesty with oneself, and compassion toward others. Through this angel's work, people discover how much of their behavior is driven by unexamined feelings, unhealed pain, or misunderstood inner movements. Believers often feel the influence of this angel during spiritual retreats, meaning khalwa, deep reflection, dhikr gatherings, moments of sudden spiritual insight, or when facing unexpected emotional triggers that expose hidden attachments. The test brought by Mufattiq Al Qulub is subtle but intense. Unlike physical hardship that can be seen and measured, the unveiling of emotions is invisible to others, yet deeply transformative for the one experiencing it. Sufi masters describe this angel as responsible for initiating inner honesty, breaking the illusions of the ego, and softening the veils that prevent a person from understanding their nafs. He opens the locked chambers of emotional memory, forcing one to confront truths they prefer to leave buried. Once unveiled, these emotions become mirrors through which a seeker can finally recognize the true nature of their heart, not what they imagine it to be, but what it actually is. Thus, Mufattiq Al Qulub is the angel of inner exposure, emotional awakening, and spiritual introspection. His trials are not outward tests, but inward storms, where Allah uses this angel to reveal, who are you behind your masks? What do you really feel? What do you fear? What do you love? What do you seek? The believer who accepts these unveilings with humility grows rapidly in spiritual maturity, while the one who resists them remains trapped in inner conflict. In essence, Mufattiq Al Qulub guides the seeker to a place where the heart can no longer lie, neither to Allah nor to the self. Through this angel, the hidden becomes known, the buried becomes clear, and the soul is allowed to finally breathe in truth. Before going further, a quick update: all our videos are available in both English and Urdu languages on our YouTube channel. You can find them by navigating to our playlists, where all our videos are available for your convenience. Now, let's continue. Quran mentions 1. Allah knows what hearts conceal in Surah Al-Mulk verse 13. He knows what is in the hearts in Surah Al-Taghabun verse 4. And Allah knows what your hearts conceal and what they reveal in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 284. Whether you reveal what is in your hearts or conceal it, Allah will bring you to account for it. In Surah Ali Imran, verse 119, He is knowing of what is within the breasts. 2. Allah tests what is in the hearts. In Surah Muhammad, verse 31, And we will surely test you until we make evident those who strive and the patient, and we will test your affairs. In Surah Ali Imran, verse 179, Allah will not leave the believers in the condition you are in until He distinguishes the wicked from the good. In Surah Ali Imran, verse 154, Allah tests what is in your hearts. 3. On the day when inner emotions are exposed, in Surah Al-Tariq, verse 9, the day when secrets are laid bare, in Surah Al-Adiyat 9 and 10, the day when all hidden things will be exposed, in Surah Al-Haqqa, verse 18, nothing of your secrets will remain hidden. 4. Allah brings out what is deep inside. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 77, Allah brings forth what you conceal and what you reveal. In Surah Saba, verse 2, and He knows that which penetrates into the earth and that which emerges from it, and what is hidden in the breasts. 5. Allah opens and expands the heart. In Surah An-An'am, verse 125, whomever Allah wills to guide, He opens his heart to Islam. In Surah Shah, verse 1, did we not expand for you your heart? These verses relate deeply to the angel who opens the heart, unveiling emotions. 6. Allah turns hearts according to their hidden states. In Surah Al-Anfāl, verse 24, Allah comes between a person and his heart. In Surah Ali Imran, verse 8, Our Lord, do not let our hearts deviate after you have guided us. 7. Allah knows emotional secrets even before we feel them. In Surah Qāf, verse 16, we created man and we know what his soul whispers to him. In Surah Ghāfir, verse 19, and He knows the treachery of the eyes and what the hearts conceal. 8. Emotional trials are part of divine design. In Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 35, we test you with evil and good as a trial. In Surah Al-Balad, verse 4, surely we created man into hardship. This includes the inner emotional hardships that Mufattiq Al Qulub reveals. 9. Allah exposes what people do not know about themselves. In Surah Fussilat, verse 53, we will show them our signs within themselves. In Surah Al-Qiyamah, verses 13 to 15, on that day, man will be informed of what he sent forward and what he left behind. Rather, man will be a clear witness against himself, even if he presents excuses. These verses represent the ultimate unveiling of emotions and inner truth. In our previous videos, we also explored the verse on how Allah created every living thing from water, the creation of the waters above the dome and below the flat earth, the firmament dome above the flat earth, actual shape of the earth according to the Quran and Islamic cosmology, primordial waters of the heavens, the kursi, meaning the footstool of Allah, the arsh, meaning the throne of Allah, la al-mahfuz, meaning the sacred tablet, the second creation of Allah, al-qalam, why Allah created the universe, the first creation of Allah, the 7 portals and dimensions of the universe, and discussed where Allah was before He created the universe. If you haven't watched them yet, please do. Now, let's continue. Hadith mentions in Sahih Bukhari, Hadith 1 and Sahih Muslim, Hadith 1907, actions are only by intentions, and each person shall have only what he intended. In Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2564, Allah does not look at your forms or wealth, but He looks at your hearts and deeds. In Sahih Bukhari, Hadith 52, and Sahih Muslim, Hadith 1599, verily in the body there is a piece of flesh. If it is sound, the whole body is sound, and if it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. Truly, it is the heart. In Musnad Ahmad, Hadith 8490, the angels bring reports about my community, both of their deeds and their inner states. In Sahih Bukhari, Hadith 3223. Every day angels descend and ascend, and they record what the servants do. In Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2689. The angels witness the gatherings of dhikr and report them to Allah. In Sahih Muslim, Hadith 803. The angels draw near when the Quran is recited until they sense the sincerity and the heart state. In Sahih Bukhari, Hadith 3209 and Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2637. When Allah loves a servant, He calls Jibreel, I love this person, so love him. Then Jibreel loves him and calls the angels of the heavens, and they love him, and acceptance is placed in the hearts of the people on earth. In Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2106, angels do not enter a house in which there is hypocrisy. In Musnad Ahmad, Hadith 12552, the angels drive away those whose hearts contain arrogance. In Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2565, every Thursday and Monday the deeds of servants are raised to Allah, and He forgives every person except the one who holds hatred in his heart. In Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2565, when two people cut relations, their deeds are withheld and not lifted to Allah until they reconcile. In Tabarani Al-Kabir, Hadith 10245, your Lord is pleased with those whose hearts are pure and truthful. In Tabarani Al-Kabir, Hadith 10315, the angels supplicate for the believer who has a clean heart. In Bayhaqi, Shu'ab al-Iman, Hadith 5480, the angels curse the one who harbors hatred, envy or deceit. In Tabarani al-Awsat, Hadith 4672, when a servant hides an intention, Allah exposes it either in his face or in his speech. In Tabarani al-Kabir, Hadith 7831, angels record the hidden whispers of a believer's soul. In Sahih Bukhari, Hadith 6477, a servant may say a word he thinks insignificant, but Allah exposes its reality and it throws him into the fire. In Al-Mujam al-Kabiri Tabarani, Hadith 10501, angels say, O Allah, this is what he says with his tongue, but you know better what is in his heart. In Musnad Ahmad, Hadith 18930, angels descend when a believer's heart trembles with fear of Allah. In Bayhaqi, Shu'ab al-Iman, Hadith 10265, the angels test the believer in times of fear and grief. In Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2654, the heart of the believer is between two fingers of the Most Merciful. He turns it as He wills. In Musnad Ahmad, Hadith 23498, when Allah wishes good for a servant, He purifies his heart through trials. In Bayhaqi, Shu'ab al-Iman, Hadith 1150, angels accompany those whose hearts are soft and humble. In Ibn Hibban, Hadith 6206, there are angels who stand at the doors of the heart, repelling whispers if the heart remembers Allah. In Musnad Ahmad, Hadith 17920, angels descend upon those who are grieving for Allah's sake to test their sincerity. In Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2687, the angels say, O Lord, we found him remembering you with a trembling heart. In Bayhaqi, Shu'ab al-Iman, Hadith 30558, the angels witness your emotions during prayer. In Tabarani al-Kabir, Hadith 11340, Allah laughs at a servant whose heart remains patient in sorrow, and the angels marvel at him. Descriptions and numbers. In the spiritual literature of the sages, Mufattiq Al Qulub is described not as a physical winged being, but as one of the subtle angels of inner unveiling, operating within the unseen architecture of the heart called al-Qalb. the spiritual center, al-Sir, and the deep unconscious world of emotions that Allah placed inside every human. Classical scholars did not assign this angel a fixed physical description because angels involved with psychological and emotional unveiling rarely interact with the material world. Instead, they interface with the states of the human interior. Thus, descriptions are metaphorical, symbolic, and experiential, reflecting how Sufi masters perceive the movements of this angelic influence inside the heart. Mufattiq Al Qulub is described as an angel whose presence is like a penetrating light that moves through the locked chambers of the heart, illuminating corners where emotions hide: fear, jealousy, love, resentment, longing, sincerity, ego, or remorse. In Tasawwufi terminology, this angel belongs to the class of Mala'ikat al-Lawatif, the angels that work through spiritual subtlety called Latifa rather than physical form. Rather than possessing a body, wings, or a measurable appearance, the angel is described as a ray of divine illumination, meaning Nur al-Ilham, that Allah sends to awaken what a human being is otherwise blind to within themselves. When it touches a heart, Tasawwufi masters say the person feels a sudden clarity, a heavy conscience, a softening of the chest, or a painful unveiling of truth that can no longer be ignored. Because it is among the angels of inner revelation, its number is not singular. In classical Islamic metaphysics, angels assigned to emotional and psychological tasks exist in multitudes, each assigned to a different believer in a different moment of their spiritual unfolding. Ibn al-Qayyim, al-Ghazali, and Ibn Arabi all mention that angels of the heart exist in vast, uncountable numbers, just as human emotional landscapes are limitless. For this reason, the designation Mufattiq Al Qulub refers not necessarily to a single angel, but to a class of angels whose function is the same, revealing the truths buried in the depths of the human soul. Their numbers are only known to Allah, echoing the Quranic phrase of Surah 74 verse 31, "And none knows the soldiers of your Lord except Him." Thus, in the spiritual sense, Mufattiq Al Qulub is one among the inner battalions, unseen, innumerable, delicate, and perfectly calibrated to each human's emotional destiny. Their appearance is felt rather than seen, recognized not with the eyes but with the sudden rise of a long-buried emotion, the exposure of a hidden motive, or the intense awakening of remorse or sincerity. In summary, Mufattiq Al Qulub is a subtle, luminous angelic force with no fixed form, working in countless numbers assigned to expose emotional truths, awaken conscience, and illuminate the hidden contents of the heart. Role with the prophets. 1. With Prophet Adam. When Adam turned to Allah in repentance after his descent from paradise, the Quran tells us that Allah inspired him with words. Tasawwufi interpreters say this inspiration was carried by angels whose task was to unveil Prophet Adam's genuine remorse, helping him recognize the sorrow, longing, and humility hidden deep within his heart. This aligns with the function of Mufattiq Al Qulub, to bring forth the true emotion that leads to repentance and inner healing. 2. With Prophet Ibrahim. Prophet Ibrahim's life is filled with moments of profound inner unveiling, his willingness to sacrifice his son, his confrontation with the idols of his people, his dialogue with Allah regarding the resurrection of the dead. In each of these episodes, the Quran describes a heart illuminated with certainty. Tasawwufi masters explain that such unwavering sincerity comes when the angels assigned to inner clarity awaken the purest love and fear of Allah within the heart. Thus, Mufattiq Al Qulub is symbolically linked to Prophet Ibrahim's ability to discern pure emotion from illusion. 3. With Prophet Musa. When Prophet Musa fled Egypt, the Quran says his heart was filled with fear, yet he concealed it. Later, during the confrontation with Pharaoh, Allah strengthened his heart until fear vanished. Tasawwufi interpretations hold that this transformation is the work of angels tasked with unveiling and then purifying emotional states, a role that mirrors perfectly the mission of Mufattiq Al Qulub. 4. With Prophet Dawood. Prophet Dawood was gifted with a tender, spiritually receptive heart, so soft that even mountains and birds echoed his praises. In the Tasawwufi worldview, such heightened emotional purity is sustained by the angels of inner revelation, who maintain clarity between sincerity and ego. Mufattiq Al Qulub is thus connected to Prophet Dawood's emotional transparency and divine humility. 5. With Prophet Yahya. Prophet Yahya was described as pure, compassionate, gentle, and master of his emotional world. His heart was the epitome of unveiled sincerity. Tasawwufi teachings describe such spiritual refinement as impossible without angels who purify hidden emotional currents, the very function attributed to Mufattiq Al Qulub. 6th. With Prophet Isa. Isa's speech to people in the cradle, his ability to heal, and his deep inner serenity all point to a heart illuminated with divine truth. Tasawwufi commentaries describe Isa as one whose heart was transparent like a mirror, a state achieved through the work of angels who strip away hidden emotional barriers. Thus, Mufattiq Al Qulub symbolically shapes Isa's clarity of compassion and purity of intention. 7. With Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet experienced the most intense and most frequent angelic interactions related to the purification and unveiling of the heart. When Angel Jibril opened his chest and washed his heart with Zamzam during childhood and before the Miraj. When he received revelation that illuminated the unseen realities of hearts. When Allah told him, as stated in Surah 94 verse 1, "Did we not expand for you your chest?" Tasawwufi masters interpret these events as involving not only Angel Jibril, but also a host of inner angels responsible for emotional purification, sincerity, and unveiling of hidden realities. Mufattiq Al Qulub occupies a symbolic place among these angels, those who expose inner states, remove veils of emotion, and refine the heart of the beloved. Role in Tasawwuf and Tariqat. In Tasawwufi, Mufattiq Al Qulub is not approached as a literal named angel from Quran or Hadith, but as a recognized spiritual function carried by a class of angels responsible for unveiling hidden emotions, exposing inner contradictions, guiding the seeker to self-awareness, and polishing the mirror of the heart. Every tariqat acknowledges that spiritual progress only begins once the inner world is illuminated, and this illumination, according to the Tasawwufi masters, is facilitated by the angelic forces assigned to the heart. Below is the fully elaborated role of this angelic presence within the Sufi path. 1. In Tasawwuf, revealer of the inner mirror called Tajalli al-Batin. Tasawwufi masters teach that the heart has layers, and behind each layer lies a hidden emotion: fear, arrogance, jealousy, longing, sorrow, love, or submission. Mufattiq Al Qulub represents the angelic force that lifts these veils, allowing the seeker to see the true intention behind actions, the real motivations behind worship, the false sincerity hidden beneath outward piety, the unhealed wounds stored in the spiritual chest, the desires that pretend to be devotion, the ego disguised as spirituality. The Tasawwufi path begins when these hidden layers are revealed, for what remains unseen remains unconquered. 2. In the Tariqat, awakener during dhikr and muraqabah. When the murid enters dhikr, certain emotions rise: regret, fear, hope, shame, longing, a yearning to return to Allah. Tasawwufi sheikhs say that these emotional waves are not accidental, they are responses triggered by angelic presences. Mufattiq Al Qulub is the presence that brings buried emotions to the surface during meditation, exposes the murid to his or her true spiritual condition, allows tears to rise during dhikr, causes long-forgotten pains to surface and be healed, sends sudden insight into one's moral failures. Tasawwufi masters call this al-kashf al-nafsi, the unveiling of the self. This unveiling is seen as the greatest mercy because it saves the seeker from spiritual self-deception. 3. Purifier of the ego, the nafs. Crushing false sincerity, the ego hides behind noble excuses, righteous actions, and outward religiosity. Mufattiq Al Qulub pierces this deception by exposing hypocrisy before it grows, revealing arrogance before it becomes a disease, unmasking jealousy before it poisons the soul, showing the murid the truth of his own heart before he claims sainthood. This role makes the angel beloved in all turuk, because a person who confronts their inner truth becomes capable of real sincerity, meaning ikhlas. 4. Facilitator of spiritual healing. According to Tasawwufi psychology, the heart contains wounds from childhood, hidden traumas, unresolved grief, unexpressed love, silent regrets, unspoken guilt. During Kalwa, meaning spiritual retreat, Muraqabah, or nights of private prayer, these emotions rise. The Tasawwufi master's view is that the angelic presence of Mufattiq Al Qulub brings these wounds forward so Allah may heal them. Thus, emotional breakdowns during spiritual practice are not failures, but angelically guided openings. 5. Guide of the murid on the path of sincerity. Every tariqat emphasizes truthfulness. But truthfulness is not only in speech, it is truthfulness of intentions, truthfulness of states, truthfulness of love, truthfulness of repentance, truthfulness of longing for Allah. The angelic function of Mufattiq Al Qulub is to sever the veils that hide these truths, enabling the murid to walk a path free from self-lies. Only a heart that has been unveiled becomes capable of serving Allah without illusions. 6. Companion of the seeker during emotional trials. Tasawwufi literature describes emotional upheavals, sadness, jealousy, rage, fear, intense love as spiritual tests, not merely psychological episodes. The test comes from Allah, but the unveiling of its reality is a task of the angels of the inner realm. Thus, when fear suddenly becomes clear, when sorrow transforms into humility, when longing becomes worship, when emotional chaos becomes clarity, this is attributed to the function of Mufattiq Al Qulub. The angel reveals why an emotion comes, what message it holds, and how it leads the seeker to Allah. 7. Helper of the murshid in diagnosing spiritual states. Tasawwufi masters are able to look at a seeker and know why he is stuck, what emotion binds him, what trauma shapes him, what fear blocks him, what desire blinds him. This insight, the masters say, does not come from intellect or scholarship. It comes from kashf, aided by the angels of the heart. Mufattiq Al Qulub is a symbolic force that allows the sheikh to see the murid's secret sorrows, his undeclared intentions, his hidden attachments, the emotional root of his sins. Thus, the sheikh prescribes spiritual remedies with precision. 8. Opener of the heart before divine lights. No heart can receive divine light until its emotional knots are loosened. This angelic presence helps by dissolving emotional veils, clearing the pathways of the heart, revealing the subtle feelings that block illumination, guiding the seeker into deeper emotional honesty. A heart full of unrevealed emotions cannot receive divine secrets, but a heart unveiled becomes a vessel for marifat gnosis. Commentaries from the Tasawwufi masters. 1. Imam al-Ghazali. Imam al-Ghazali in Ihya. Ulum al-Din teaches that the heart contains hidden illnesses, envy, pride, arrogance, love of fame, and reliance on the world. These illnesses hide beneath the surface, and a person may perform worship thinking he is sincere, yet his inner reality contradicts his outer appearance. Imam Ghazali states that Allah appoints angelic forces to awaken self-awareness, to uncover what the servant does not see in himself. In this sense, Mufattiq Al Qulub is the angelic principle that opens the inward eye and shatters the illusions of the nafs, forcing the seeker to confront emotional and spiritual diseases before they corrupt the heart. Ghazali writes that the unveiling of one's own faults is a mercy, for a man cannot cure what he does not detect, and thus this angel is a physician of the spiritual heart, exposing its wounds so healing may begin. 2. Hazrat Ibn Arabi. Hazrat Ibn Arabi describes the heart as the largest cosmos, containing countless states and divine reflections. He teaches that every emotion is a tajalli, a manifestation of a divine name appearing in the heart of the seeker. Hidden emotions are simply tajalliyat that have not yet reached consciousness, and their emergence is guided by an angelic presence responsible for unveiling inner truths. This corresponds to the function symbolized by Mufattiq Al Qulub. Ibn Arabi explains that this angel reveals emotions not to burden the seeker, but to show the divine names behind them. For sorrow is from Al-Qahar, fear from Al-Jalil, longing from Al-Wadud, shame from Al-Raqib, and hope from Al-Karim. He writes that hidden emotions are closed doors, and this angel is the opener of locks who leads the seeker into the labyrinth of his own soul, until he discovers that every emotional movement is a form of divine communication. 3. Sheikh Abd al-Qadir Jilani. Sheikh al-Jilani teaches that the greatest enemy of the seeker is not shaitan, but the nafs, which hides its desires behind spiritual excuses. He says that Allah sends an angelic force to expose the tricks of the self, revealing the emotional impulses that pretend to be righteous. This angel shakes the heart so its impurities rise to the surface, just as boiling water brings dirt upward. Hazrat Jilani writes that when a murid suddenly becomes aware of jealousy, arrogance, or insincerity, it is not a coincidence. It is an angel striking the heart so the darkness within may be expelled. Mufattiq Al Qulub, in this Qadiri perspective, is the angel of inner jihad, the one who reveals the battlefield of the nafs so the seeker cannot hide from his own truth. Only by this exposure can he enter Sid, real sincerity. 4. Hazrat Shams Tabriz. Hazrat Shams Tabriz speaks of emotions as walls. Anger is a wall, fear is a wall, shame is a wall, pride is a wall. These walls imprison the heart and prevent divine intimacy. He teaches that Allah sends an angelic force whose purpose is to destroy these walls, revealing the raw, unedited truth of the heart. This corresponds to Mufattiq Al Qulub, the angel who cracks open the chest so the seeker can see what he truly carries. Shams says that this unveiling can feel painful, as the heart does not like to be exposed. But he adds, better to be wounded by truth than comforted by lies. Thus, the angel's role is to drag hidden emotions into the light, where they can no longer pretend to be virtue. Hazrat Shams calls this angel the friend who shocks you awake, for emotional awakening is the beginning of divine love. 5. Maulana Jalal al-Din Rumi. Maulana Rumi sees every emotion, fear, grief, longing, hope, sorrow, as a visitor from the unseen, carrying a message from Allah. The heart that hides emotions becomes a house with locked doors. The heart that welcomes them becomes a palace illuminated. Rumi describes the angelic function of Mufattiq Al Qulub as the guest who knocks on your chest and says, "Open." Another secret waits behind your tears. To Maulana Rumi, this angel reveals emotions so that each feeling can transform into light. Fear becomes surrender. Grief becomes tenderness. Longing becomes worship. shame becomes humility, and love becomes annihilation in Allah. Maulana Rumi writes that angels are assigned to every heart to uncover its buried treasures, a heart that refuses to feel, refuses to grow. Thus the angel unveils the emotional landscape so the seeker may walk through it until he reaches divine unity. Possibility of seeing them. 1. Seeing them in real life. Seeing Mufattiq Al Qulub with the physical eyes is exceedingly rare, because this angel operates within the subtle realm of emotions, intentions, and inner movements, which are not visible to ordinary sight. However, Tasawwufi masters teach that angelic influence can be felt even if not seen. A believer might experience sudden emotional clarity, an unexpected unveiling of hidden feelings, an overwhelming awareness of a flaw, or a moment of deep sincerity breaking open inside his chest. All of these are considered signs of direct angelic visitation. In a real-life wakeful state, this angel may manifest not in form, but in events and encounters, meeting someone whose words unexpectedly expose a buried emotion, hearing a verse of the Quran that breaks a person's defenses, or undergoing a situation that forces painful truths to surface. These outward incidents are inwardly the movements of Mufattiq Al Qulub in the world of human relationships. The Tasawwufi masters teach the angels of inner unveiling are not seen with the eyes, but with the heart that begins to tremble. 2. Seeing them in dreams. Dreams are the most common realm in which angels can be perceived because dreams belong to the alam al-mithal, the imaginal world. Here, Mufattiq Al Qulub may appear in symbolic forms, each reflecting the emotional truth being unveiled. They may appear as a light that pierces the chest, as a mirror that reveals a person's inner state, as a guide pointing toward a hidden flaw, or even as a voice that names a concealed emotion directly. Many Tasawwufi seekers report dreams in which they are confronted with their own shadow. Jealousy, fear, grief, pride, and an angelic figure stands beside them, unveiling its meaning. This is considered a true visitation. The Prophet said that true dreams are 1/46th of prophethood, and the Tasawwufi tradition affirms that angels carry dreams to the heart. Therefore, the unveiling of hidden emotions in a dream, accompanied by intense clarity upon waking, is traditionally attributed to Mufattiq Al Qulub, guiding the soul through its inner landscape. 3. Seeing them in Kashf. Kashf is the realm in which this angel is most clearly experienced because the veils of perception thin and the heart becomes capable of witnessing realities normally hidden. In Kashf, the seeker does not necessarily see this angel with a physical form. Instead, Mufattiq Al Qulub is witnessed as a force of illumination that enters the heart and exposes every hidden corner. A person undergoing Kashf may suddenly see the true nature of an emotion, its spiritual root, its purpose, and the divine name that manifests through it. This unveiling may come in the form of overwhelming light, inward communication called ilham, a symbolic vision, or direct recognition without imagery. Advanced Tasawwufi masters describe this angel as a luminous presence that opens the locks of the inner chambers, allowing the seeker to watch emotions rise, transform, and dissolve in the divine. In this state, the seeker gains profound clarity about his inner truth, and the angel acts as both witness and guide. Kashf is the realm in which the presence of this angel is closest, for emotional unveiling is its essential work. Role in the grave. When a person enters the grave, the veil of physical life falls away and the world of inner truth begins. Classical Tasawwufi commentators say that the grave is the unveiling of the hidden heart, because here the inner reality called batin becomes the outer reality kal, zahir. In this realm, Mufattiq Al Qulub plays a subtle but profound role. He reveals the true emotional states a person carried through life, the sincerity behind their love, the hidden intentions behind their charity, the unspoken malice, grudges, envy, compassion, and remorse that were never voiced. He does not judge, he uncovers, presenting these emotional truths to the angels of questioning called Munkar and Nakir, and to the soul itself. The person becomes aware of their own emotional legacy. Did they love for Allah? Did they forgive? Did they envy? Did they hide hatred while smiling outwardly? Imam al-Ghazali describes the grave as a place where the inner self testifies against itself, and this angel is one of the unseen forces enabling that testimony. Thus, in the grave, the presence of Mufattiq Al Qulub allows the soul to see its own emotional truth clearly, without self-deception. Role in Barzakh. Barzakh is a realm where the soul is no longer bound by the limitations of the body, and emotions become forms shaping the experience of the intermediate world. Here, Mufattiq Al Qulub is said to stabilize the emotional form of the soul so that it reflects its true spiritual condition. A soul filled with mercy finds Barzakh luminous. One filled with rancor finds it constricting. Uncover emotions the soul still hides from itself, such as regret, shame, longing, or suppressed yearning for God. Prepare the soul for the emotional unveiling on the day of judgment by making it confront layers of feelings that were buried in dunya. Tasawwufi texts say that Barzakh is a realm where the heart becomes the mirror of its lived truth. This angel ensures that no emotional state remains veiled, so that the soul's transition to the next world is grounded in honesty. Role on the day of Qiyamah. On the day when all secrets are brought forth, Yawma Tubla al-Sara'ir, this angel plays a role in the manifestation of the heart's inner contents. The functions attributed to Mufattiq Al Qulub on Qiyamah are revealing the emotional intentions behind actions, sincerity, hypocrisy, manipulation, love, jealousy, compassion, or arrogance. Unveiling the silent deeds, which are the emotions behind choices, resentment when giving charity, joy at someone's misfortune, or hidden tenderness that was never expressed, presenting the true emotional signature of a person's life to the witnesses of the day, including angels, prophets, and one's own limbs. This is aligned with the Quranic principle as stated in Surah 3 verse 154. Allah will expose that which is within the breasts. The angel's role is not judgment, but exposure, making manifest what was once concealed. On that day, a person sees how much envy they carried, which griefs they hid, which loves they failed to express, which mercies they never showed outwardly but kept alive inwardly. Every emotion becomes a visible reality. Role at the mizan. While the mizan measures deeds, Tasawwufi metaphysics teaches that deeds have weights based on the emotions behind them. Here, Mufattiq Al Qulub reveals the emotional weight of each action. Sincerity makes a deed heavy, hypocrisy makes it weightless. The intentions that shaped actions. A small act done with love outweighs mountains of ritual done with arrogance. The purity of emotions behind worship, like humility in prayer or trust in charity. Tasawwufi masters emphasize the body performs the deed, but the heart gives it weight. Thus, during the weighing of deeds, this angel is the unseen force that unveils the inner reality of how those deeds were emotionally charged. Role at the Sirat, the bridge over hellfire. The Sirat is thinner than a hair, sharper than a sword, and crossed not by physical balance but by the balance of one's inner truth. At this point, the function of Mufattiq Al Qulub becomes even more delicate. The angel reveals the final emotional state of the heart, whether it is weighed by resentment, darkened by anger, or illuminated by mercy. Souls whose hearts were internally sincere, forgiving, and humble find the bridge wide and illuminated. Souls filled with hidden malice or hypocrisy find the bridge narrow, dark, and unstable, because their inner emotional truth manifests outwardly. The Sirat reflects the heart. Tasawwufi commentaries explain that the light with which people cross the bridge is the light of their inward emotional purity. Mufattiq Al Qulub does not grant or deny success. He reveals the emotional light or darkness the person themselves created in life. Protection and awareness. Through a Kamil Murshid, a perfect spiritual guide, a Kamil Murshid is the physician of the heart. His presence trains the seeker to become aware of subtle emotional currents long before they manifest as sins, regrets, or spiritual diseases. When a seeker walks under the gaze of such a guide, he becomes aware of emotions he never recognized within himself. Envy hidden behind compliments, pride behind charity, resentment behind forgiveness. The Murshid teaches muhasaba, self-inventory, the art of catching an emotion at its birth before it poisons the soul. The Murshid mirrors the interior of the disciple, revealing to him the unseen movements of his heart, just as Mufattiq Al Qulub does in the unseen world. The seeker learns to sit before his Murshid with emptiness, honesty, and surrender, for deception in the heart dies in such company. Tasawwufi masters say, a Kamil Murshid prepares you for the unveiling of emotions in the hereafter by unveiling them to you in this world. Thus, walking with a Murshid is a form of early protection, training the seeker to approach the angelic unveiling with a purified interior. A Murshid awakens the seeker to the reality that every breath is a form shaped by zikr. By teaching breath zikr, the Murshid transforms the human into a being of continuous remembrance, surpassing angels. A Kamil Murshid, meaning a perfect spiritual guide, is considered in Tasawwuf the inheritor of the Prophet, guiding seekers on the path from clay, meaning nafs, to light, meaning ruh. The Kamil Murshid helps awaken this nafas al-Rahman, meaning breath of the All-Merciful, within the disciple. Also, as stated in Surah Qāf, verse 17, whoever Allah guides is truly guided, but whoever He leaves to stray, you will never find for them a Murshid, meaning a spiritual guide. Angels are always in dhikr, but their dhikr is fixed and limited to the forms Allah gave them. Man, however, through guidance of a Murshid, can transform his every breath into dhikr, making his remembrance continuous, like angels, and even higher because it comes through free will. In Tariqat, the Murshid teaches Habz al-Nafas, meaning watching the breath, and Zikr Khafi, meaning silent dhikr. Every inhalation and every exhalation affirms Allah and He alone. This makes the seeker live in the constant rhythm of divine presence. Through the Quran is the master purifier of emotions. Its verses do not merely instruct, they penetrate the heart's hidden chambers. The Quran protects from the painful unveiling of Mufattiq Al Qulub by softening hard hearts, as stated in Surah 17 verse 82, cleansing grudges as stated in Surah 7 verse 43, healing emotional wounds as stated in Surah 10 verse 57, illuminating hypocrisy as stated in Surah 63 verses 1 to 4, teaching sincerity as stated in Surah 98 verse 5, strengthening humility as stated in Surah 57 verse 16. When the seeker recites with presence called Hudur, the Quran acts as a light that travels through the emotions, purifying envy, anger, hatred, and insincerity before they reach the hereafter. The more Quran lives inside a heart, the gentler the unveiling of emotions would be on the day of truth. Through du'as, the Prophet taught du'as that protect from inner corruption and spiritual blindness, both of which relate directly to the angel who unveils the hidden heart. Key du'as. O Allah, purify my heart from hypocrisy. O Allah, grant me a heart that is sound, stated as Qalb Salim in Quran. O Allah, remove rancor from our hearts. O turner of the hearts, keep my heart firm upon your deen. O Allah, cleanse my heart from envy and fill it with love for the righteous. These du'as shape the interior, making the unveiling gentle and luminous instead of painful. Through acts to do, these acts strengthen emotional purity and prepare the heart for its unveiling. Daily muhasaba, meaning self-review. Before sleeping, ask, what emotion did I hide today? Charity given in secret purifies hidden pride. Forgiveness before the heart sleeps. This is one of the greatest shields on the day of emotional unveiling. Dhikr of the divine name Al-Latif. This name softens the heart, unties emotional knots, and releases stored pain, staying with the righteous. Their presence polishes the hidden self, being honest in emotional expression, not suppressing love, gratitude, or apologies, protects the heart from heaviness. Acts to avoid. These actions create emotional shadows that will be exposed by Mufattiq Al Qulub, hidden hatred. Even unspoken hatred becomes visible form in barzakh, envy meaning hasad, the most toxic emotional poison. Scholars say it burns the soul before it burns others. Fake gratitude, hypocrisy in emotion weighs heavily on the day of truth. Manipulative compassion, pretending kindness for personal gain is a dark stain in the emotional record. Concealed arrogance, a subtle poisonous pride that hides under the cloak of humility. Avoiding these ensures that the heart is not humiliated when unveiled. So dear viewers, Mufattiq Al Qulub is one of the most subtle and awe-inspiring angels in the spiritual universe. His task is not to punish, not to judge, but simply to unveil. He unveils emotions buried beneath the masks of dunya, revealing the truth of our love, the sincerity of our compassion, the weight of our forgiveness, the poison of our envy, and the purity or corruption of our hidden intentions. He is the angel who makes every heart see what it truly carried. Spiritual preparation for his unveiling begins now through Quran, Dua, Dhikr, emotional honesty, humility, and companionship of the righteous. A heart purified in dunya will shine in the grave, blossom in barzakh, find ease on Qiyamah, gain weight at the mizan, and cross the sirat with light. The wise Sufis would say, purify your emotions today, so that when Mufattiq Al Qulub unveils your heart tomorrow, you will rejoice instead of tremble. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoy this content and find it beneficial, we kindly ask you to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more authentic, faith-strengthening content. And let's continue this journey of knowledge together. Inshallah, see you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.